Inside of You is brought to you by Sonos, my good friends at Sonos. How much do I love these guys at Sonos?
You love this.
This is by far, if you're going to get a good holiday gift, this is a great holiday gift. Sonos devices are all around my house. I've had them for years. I've said this before, but before I even had them as sponsors, which they're just recently sponsors, I've always loved Sonos. I talk about it with everybody, and people everywhere have Sonos. Mm-hmm. And I'm not the only one that loves this product. They just make great products. And, instead of having receivers and speakers everywhere in your house, you could just have this little device that has beautiful sound. And that's really what Sonos is about, if you ask me. It's like, saving space. It's not the old days where you need to have 5 receivers and a turntable and this, all that, it's like, come on, man. Sonos is wonderful. Make the sound system on your wish list a reality. Share the joy of listening on Sonos this season with speakers and sound bars that are easy to set up, easy to use, and all work together so you can listen in any or every room like I do. And bring the family together with incredible sound for everything from classic carols to festive films.
Sonos works with all your streaming services, and control is simple with the Sonos app, your voice using Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant, and Apple AirPlay 2.
Spoil the listeners in your life, folks, with a gift that truly keeps on giving. Treat gamers and movie lovers to an immersive home theater experience with Beam. Keep your fitness-loving friends motivated with great sound for their workout playlist with Move. And help relatives relax with hand-free control of their music and more on Sonos One. You won't be sorry. I'm going to get ready to be bombarded with emails because you're going to tell me how much you love Sonos. That is just a fact. I love them. I know you'll love them. It's a great holiday gift. Go to Sonos.com. That's Sonos.com to learn more and wrap up your holiday shopping. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Thank you for tuning in. Ryan, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing the fuck up.
Thanks for having me.
Sorry for swearing right away. Just right off the cuff, just swearing.
Fucking A.
I just don't even swear that much. Do you think I swear that much?
No.
Yeah, I try not to.
Like you swear like the normal amount of person would swear?
Maybe for the new year I won't swear as much, but...
I think you fucking should, though.
Wow. Another F-bomb from Ryan Tejas. Hey, thank you for making our show a priority. Thank you for listening to our show. If you're here for Brandon Routh, and I appreciate that, but hopefully you'll stick around. Hopefully you'll like the show and go, hey, I got something from this. I like hearing these conversations, candid, open, real, and you'll stick around. The handles to follow us on Instagram and Facebook are
at Inside of You Podcast,
and on Twitter
at Inside of You Pod.
That's correct, Ryan. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate when people watch on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. You could also listen on Spotify, Apple, TuneIn, Stitcher, all that shit. You could listen on TuneIn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you could listen on just about every platform. It's free. It's fun. I hope you continue to do it. Spread the word. It really helps the show. Thank you to all my patrons. If you go to patreon.com/insideof and you become a patron, I'll message you. And they give back to the show, whether it's 50 cents or $1, or some people are top tiers that get packages from me every couple months that give a lot more. There's a lot of things on there. It's a great community. Patreon.com/insideof. It really helps the podcast. So if you want to help the podcast, then do it. More importantly, if you want to help people in need, echoesofhope.org. If you want to help homeless people, foster youth, this helps foster youth. I'm on the board, and we could use your help. So check out what they have, and you could donate. You could, help out. They could really use your help. Also, foodonfoot.org. My good buddy Rob Danson works in marketing over there, and they could really use your help. The homelessness that's going on in Los Angeles is shocking. And if you go to foodonfoot.org, you could donate. And you really help people, and it's such a good cause. And I just want to say that. Also, I have the Inside of You online store. If you want to buy merch and stuff like that, Smallville lunchboxes, autographs, this and that, go to the Inside of You online store. Use the code RosieChristmas10, ROSEY. And that's it. That's all I really have to say about that. I hope you have a great freaking New Year's. And we won't be having a show on January 4th. We're going to take 1 week out of the year off, but we will be back the following week with a brand new season of Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum and Ryan Tejas. Yes, he'll be here as well.
Next season. Huh?
Are you excited for the new year, Ryan?
I am. Yeah, the last 2 years have kind of been rough ones. So, every new year that comes brings, hopefully some new,
Brings hope.
some optimism.
Yeah.
Because now that it feels like hope.
Turning a corner.
Christ, we've been through the darkest part.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, every new year is like, all right, well, we can put the last one away. Let's put that in a little box.
I think so too. I think
blow
it's
up
good.
the box.
I think, I think it's good to be optimistic, and I think it's also not ridiculous to be optimistic. I think things will get better, and you just have to know that, and also just be good to yourselves. Why don't we stop chatting and get right into it? He's been on before, but I think this one we even get a little deeper, and I really appreciate him coming back on the podcast. He's a great guy, and loved having you, buddy. So let's get inside of Brandon Routh. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. Look at that. That's a nice backdrop you have. You have a little tree.
Is this the beginning of the podcast? Have we started yet?
I mean, sure. Why not?
Well, if we started, hold on. I have to start. Hold on.
You look very handsome, by the way. Very handsome.
Hello, everybody. Oh, Brandon, you're here too. I'm Brandon.
What is that?
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. Hello. I'm Brandon, and I guess this is Brandon also. Very strange.
Brandon has a puppet. Brandon has a puppet. He's talking with
peculiar. This is a Brandon puppet. This is a Brandon puppet that my son made me for my birthday.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Not my 9-year-old son, yes. With felt and Scotch tape.
What a good kid. How old is he? He's very creative.
His first puppet, 9.
9. I couldn't do that now.
They went to the dollar store here in Vancouver to get decorations. And they had some craft supplies too. And Courtney suggested, he could do something with felt. And they was like, I'm going to make a puppet. And this is the first puppet he made.
Look at that. You've got shoes.
My favorite shirt he's got on here.
What is your favorite shirt? Are you kidding, or is that actually a shirt?
No, it's the shirt that I wear a lot. It's a shirt that it's got a heart on a skateboard. This is the Brandon Routh puppet. So then I said,
"Wow!"
They said, "Hey, Dad, can you?" Where'd the paper go?
Another
said, Dad,
gift.
Can you give me an idea for a puppet? So I drew one. I don't remember where my design is, but anyway, it's like a robot puppet. So I drew him a design and color and everything to a T. He made this other one. This is a second one, and then we'll be done with puppets.
Look at that.
It's pretty cool.
Look at your son making puppets. He's a puppeteer.
This is Bebop.
Bebop.
I named him Bebop.
He's the next Jim Henson.
Yeah.
Look at that. And they're unique.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of Scotch tape. A lot of Scotch tape.
So we're going to get him a cold. Courtney says there's something called a cold glue gun, which I'm not aware of. So I'm going to get him a cold glue gun, which we think could be safe enough to use. Because I guess it doesn't burn you because it's cold. I don't know.
So you've really enjoyed this pandemic time with your son. You've had a lot of time. He's had a lot of time. It's got to be difficult with a kid during the pandemic, right?
Yes, certain things have been challenging. Thankfully, we kind of tend to be an indoor family in some ways. So it hasn't been, it didn't alter our schedule too much. Just before we had spent a lot of time at Vancouver, and we're back up here again, but just before the pandemic, when we came back, because we're traveling a lot and in our, crazy schedules, sometimes we end up spending a lot of time together when we don't have work or when we're on hiatus. And the transition from Vancouver back to LA led us, kind of being in our house a lot. So the first couple months leading up to quarantine, we were kind of like, okay, we got this already. We'd already started homeschooling because of the transition from moving. We were going to supplement the year with homeschooling. And then, so we were kind of already in that zone. And then Leo is thriving in it. And we like it to participate and be his teachers. and it's going well.
Who's a better teacher? Who, like, if you have to teach him math or science, is it you or is it Courtney?
I do the math and science, and Courtney does the English and social studies.
Yes.
We both trade off for each other. It just so happens that she's better at teaching the English than I am. Which I had as an ego hit for me, because I was an English major for 1 year only, and I wanted to be a writer if I didn't become an actor. And what happened was, I would get too picky with. I was too much of a perfectionist for the English and for the grammar, and when he was starting to write, and so that was becoming inhibiting his kind of growth and expression. And now I'm better at it. Now I understand, because I've watched her work with him, right, and she does it in a much better way. So she does, and she's great teacher anyway. But that's one of the reasons why she's doing that, and I'm doing what I'm doing.
Are you a patient person? Because, my father was just so impatient with everything I did that I don't want him helping me with my homework. I'd rather fail. I don't want him to teach me how to drive a stick shift. I'd rather fail. I remember he just had no patience. How do you not understand this? We just went over this. How do you not know this? And I would get so frazzled that I couldn't think straight. Are you patient, or is something you have to just like learn with? This is a child. I have to really be patient. He's not going to get everything right away.
I like to think that I'm a patient person, and I can be, and I have been with him. School is challenging in it, and raising a child is challenging. You think you're patient, but that gets tested all the time in various ways. I am mostly, but with the math, we had a real challenge, working with addition stuff at the very beginning. And I had to realize through, Courtney helping me become aware of it, because Leo and I would get back in these back and forth, like, why don't you understand this? I don't understand that, back and forth, every couple of days, and realized through Courtney making me aware of it that he has a different brain than I do. He doesn't, I have to speak to him in a different way. Right. I can't, the way I understand it is not the way he understands it. So just giving him one example of how to do it, I'm like, well, why doesn't that make sense? It doesn't make sense to him. So I learned to ask him questions and say, okay, I see that this isn't making sense. What part of it doesn't make sense? Or what if we did it this way? Or being curious about him. God. So I think often it like many things in life, when you're learning about how to be a better parent, you learn about how to be a better person, and in relationship with every relationship that you have. And my ego was kind of getting attacked that he wasn't understanding the way I was teaching him, and is one part of it. But also I wasn't being curious enough about how he was engaging with the math. Right. And asking him questions and understanding how he was feeling about it, or what was frustrating to him. I was just kept trying to like, well, do it this way, or what if you did it this way, instead of asking him. And so, just as a life lesson, curiosity has been something I've been working on, being curious about people.
Yeah. I think we probably talked a little bit about this 2 years ago when I had you on. So thanks for coming back. But, when you talk about patience and you're dealing with a kid, but then you deal with the real world, and Brandon being on set, and Brandon having to deal with real stuff going on. Have you learned, like, I'm always the guy on set that I'm ready to work, but that's not how it works. It's mostly waiting. So have you learned over time to adapt and sort of like go, okay, I'm just going to wait when they need me. I'm going to be productive. I'm going to do something else. And what is it that you do?
Well, I don't know that I'm that productive when we're not shooting yet. I used to have moments where I was more productive. I go and read, or before cell phones became such a big time suck and mental energy suck, mind void. I used to read on set, but the question you're asking me, so I don't really have a great answer. I talk to people. I try to, be ready for the next scene. But waiting is a challenging thing for an actor, for anyone. But they set up the lights. They have to set up the shot and get the camera. All this stuff has to happen in order for us to move on to the next shot. So there's a lot of waiting, and sometimes you get brought to set and they're not ready for you.
Yes, I know those days.
You see a lot of actors complaining. Oh, why'd you bring us to set if you're not ready? And this and that.
Me,
I've been one of them.
Sure.
All of us have probably been there at one time. Maybe we didn't voice it, but we're thinking it. And I these days I'm trying to see all that stuff from a more macro view, holistic view of the whole team.
Right.
Pretty much everybody's working to their capacity as hard as they can to get the job done. Nobody wants to be there all day. They want to go home, see their families. They want to do their own thing. And it's just kind of reminding myself that we're all a team. The crew, the cast, we're all trying to make this happen together. And for me to sit there and complain is bad energy,
right?
Feeding off to everybody else on the cast and crew is working so hard. So I don't know if I'm answering this question.
No, you are. You are.
You're talking about patience, and I'm saying that I'm trying to see not just myself in the picture, but everyone else, and that helps me go.
Right.
Oh, well, just calm down, because you're just one part of this whole mechanism. Yeah, they called you to set earlier, too early. So take a seat. So go back and sit down. Tell them you're going to go sit down. You let me know when you're ready. Instead of just like silently fuming and getting like, well, they called us and they should just let us go. And
so much energy is expelled, or when you're just always kind of like upset about things. That's what I learned. Mm-hmm. It took me years and years to learn, but like, you're not doing yourself a service right now. You're not doing anybody else a service. You're just creating. You're getting more fatigued by working yourself up and expending all this energy.
Creating kind of toxic environment.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Ask for what I've been learning to ask for what I need, to know when I need something, and ask for it within reason, obviously.
Inside of You is brought to you by Homedics. Oh boy, man, do I need this. Talk about, a guy who's had like 8 spine surgeries and just played sports his whole life. Homedics sent me this massager, Ryan. Mm-hmm. That is just freaking wonderful. It's so deep and just relaxing. They sent me this foot massager too. They're just fantastic at Homedics. And, you got to try these guys out. They've got a whole line of massage products, from a massage gun with built-in hot and cold technology to a massage cushion that lets you lie down or sit up depending on your therapeutic needs, to a 3-in-1 foot massager with vibrations so powerful it loosens the muscles in your legs and lower back. And you can be damn sure that I'm going to be doing this right after I'm done with this podcast. That's what I'm doing. But moral of the story, Homedics has massagers that address your pain points from head to toe. You're talking to someone who has a lot of pain, someone who deals with it, has had problems his whole life, and I really, truly love these guys. This is downstairs in my basement. You go down there, I have my couch, I have my Homedics massager.
Plus, they have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so they are a brand that you can rely on. Join the millions of customers who trust the Homedics family to take care of theirs.
So whether you're dealing with chronic pain or just looking to help your muscles recover from a workout, we've got good news. Right now, if you go to Homedics, HOMEDICS, homedics.com/inside, and use promo code INSIDE, you'll receive a free portable phone sanitizer when you buy $100 or more in massage products. That's a $60 value. That's Homedics, HOMEDICS.com/inside, and use the promo code INSIDE for your free portable phone sanitizer with a $100 massager purchase. Inside of You is brought to you by Fairway. Listen to this, guys. The Fairway meat department has always been considered the backbone of their operation. What customers can expect from FairwayMeatMarket.com, it's still hand-cut by Fairway butchers to ensure the best possible quality. And it's the same quality that they promise at the counter, now delivered to your home nationwide. wide. I love getting a box of meat. They have this holiday special I'm going to tell you about where you're going to save a lot of money and it's free shipping and all that. But I'll tell you, Fairway Meat Market's quality meat comes straight from America's heartland. Each and every cut is done by their highly experienced team of butchers to ensure you get the same quality they put in every in-store customer experience. People love the wide selection of products. Fairway offers ribs to ribeyes, pork chops, and beef tenderloin. They have every style and cut your kitchen can handle. And here's how it works. You just visit fairwaymeatmarket.com. You select your favorite meat products, stand by your grill, waiting patiently. That's what I do. Get the gift this holiday season that your friends and family will not forget. And this week, my listeners can get the Butcher's Holiday Collection, valued at $275 for just $169.99 plus free shipping when you enter inside at checkout. And let me tell you what you're going to get with the Butcher's Holiday Collection package. 2 12-ounce USDA choice ribeye steaks, 2 8-ounce USDA choice filet mignons, 2 8-ounce USDA choice sirloin fillets, 4 8-ounce 100% full-blood Wagyu patties, 6 8-ounce certified Duroc boneless pork chops, and 2 pounds of private labeled bacon. That's more than $100 off the best meat in America this holiday season, plus free shipping nationwide. That's fairwaymeatmarket.com. fairwaymeatmarket.com, promo code INSIDE, and look for the Butcher's Holiday Collection. Codes give free shipping site-wide as well, not just on the select package. How do you deal with, I mean, it could be a stupid question, but I mean, look, you're on set a lot. You're dealing with a lot of different personalities. There's got to be times when you're like, my vibe doesn't really go with that guy's vibe or that actress's vibe or whatever, or I don't really like the director. How do you deal with that? Is it something you can just like kind of like zone out and just go, I'm not gonna deal with this? Or do you have a tough time? Do you have people that you've worked with that you just don't really enjoy working with and you have to kind of pretend? It's pretend time?
I think I've had pretty fortunate. Haven't had that opportunity. Haven't had that challenge very often. I've worked on projects where they unfortunately didn't have skills, like from a whole like mostly crew production and where it was super challenging. It was very amateur hour type situation. And I really had to just be there for the day. I really had to learn to be present, not for the outcome,
right,
but just to have the best day that I could, engaging with people that I did appreciate that were there, and just like go, okay, that cannot be fixed. I cannot do anything about that. This is going to be a train wreck, but I can either be upset every day that's going to be a train wreck, or I can just go, okay, I'm going to work on being as present and in the moment and enjoy my day to day as much as I can.
You know, for me, everybody knows if I'm not happy. I can't hide it. You just see it in my disposition. My disposition is just like, especially if I don't like someone, it's hard for me not to sort of not challenge them, but sort of just say, hey, is everything all right? I've always had that personality where I want everybody to like me. And if it's the one person that doesn't like me, I don't understand it. And some people could just be like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about, I care about myself. I'm going to do my work and that's it. But I come to work. I want everybody to have a good time. I want there to be good energy. I want everybody to like me. Yeah. Do people, when you're not happy, do people notice it?
I think so, because it's a dramatic change for me. Because I normally am on set. I'm recognizing my personas on set and then at home. On set, I am a people pleaser. I want to be. I want to be liked. I want to be part of the team. I want us to go. And I've had to look at that too to see who am I doing that for?
Right.
And that's whole like boundaries issue. But I think people know when I'm not having a bad day because I wear it around, and it's a fairly stark transition to me right now. I guess being engaged, being curious about you, and yeah. and being in in a creative space, but being in a creative space, really, energy. And then when I get upset, it's very internal, and I'm making eye contact, mumbling.
Yes, I understand.
So I'm working to become more and more aware of that side of myself, because it's a very petulant, like my child self, and also like moody teenager aspect of myself, which really doesn't serve anyone and is kind of gross.
Does Courtney call you out on that? Is she someone that can just call you out?
Yeah. Absolutely. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah. So people know when I'm angry, and I'm working to understand when I'm angry too. And I feel like at the core of that, when I get into that kind of spiral of that turns me into not Hulk mode, but pouty angry mode, is like just not communicating.
Right.
As something is going on with me and I'm not communicating properly to myself or to the person who I need to speak directly to about what's upsetting me, and it just festers, because I want them to know, to come to, like, them to apologize, them to go, oh, well, I've been doing this thing, I'm silly, or hey, can I talk to you about this thing? I want them to engage, but I'm learning that I have to do the work to go, hey, you know what? I have to be the person to bring this to you, because clearly you're not aware of this. Now I have to find the proper way to bring it to you so that your defenses aren't raised, aren't alerted, and you check out from the conversation and can't even participate. And that's a tough thing. But when you work with people or communicate with people, these are skills. These are skills that people don't learn. These are things that we need to be teaching kids in school. Conflict resolution, how to deal with conflict resolution, how to speak to people instead of learning trigonometry or whatever else, that rarely gets used in real life.
I think it's ego. Usually, or an insecurity, or something that we carry that has really a lot of times nothing to do with someone else. I think, like you said, you want people to apologize. You want somebody to approach you, and that just doesn't really happen. So it just festers. So it's about learning how to deal with others. It's learning how, it's very important as a child in your adolescent stage to sort of understand that and say, hey, it's a lot easier to just say, hey, I feel like there's a little bit of tension or whatever, but let's dissolve that. How do we do that? That takes a big person, and it's very difficult to wrap your head around, and it's taken me a long time to understand that as well.
Yeah, we just, like I said, it's not taught in school. It should be a subject that's taught in school. I remember we would have the school counselor would come in and talk about warm, fuzzy feelings and cold, whatever feelings, I don't know. And we talked about emotions a little bit, but not conflict resolution. It wasn't something that happened every day, which it really should be. And that's the beauty of the privilege that we have, of the ability that we have in homeschooling, is that we talk about this kind of stuff all day long. If he has a deeper question about something that his social studies material isn't going into, we dive into it. And that kids aren't getting that individual time with a teacher going in depth with all this stuff, and families are stretched. They're not as much family time as they'd like to have to be talking about all of these things. Yeah. But it's happening more than it ever did before. You look at the evolution of society, which is a very intriguing thing to me, and the emotional intelligence of society, of our parents, and then our parents' parents. What did they know? What did they? How were they treated? What trauma did they put onto your parents, my parents, and then the trauma that my parents, your parents put on? We all put trauma to some degree, emotional trauma, on our kids, unless we're really aware of it. And it's only been in recent time that people are going to therapy, that are talking about these things, that we can talk openly about mental wellness and seeing a therapist. You're not a crazy person for going to see a therapist. And I know I shouldn't even use that word, but to use the
It's breaking the
bad
stigma.
version of it. What's that?
You're breaking the stigma. It's like you're getting, you're getting rid of the stigma.
Yeah, we're getting rid of the stigma of that. And at one point, I'm like so frustrated at people, but then I look at the macro view and I can say, this has only been happening for such a small amount of time in humanity, in humanity's history of like really looking at how we affect each other and how our emotions, especially parent to child, affect the next generation.
You know what's funny is I was just on the phone with Tom Welling, who was Clark Kent on Smallville for years with me.
Who? I've never.
Well, it's funny because I told him.
You know him?
Well, I told him that I'm interviewing you, and he goes, "I like that guy." He goes, "But I gotta tell you, I never thought. I mean, I never think he likes me. I don't think Brandon likes me." He said that. I go, "Do you want me to tell him that?" He goes, "Yeah. I don't think he. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I'm not sure if he likes me or not."
No. Oh, I don't like that. No, I do. I actually do. I really like Tom. Well, I'm sad that he feels that way, but now he can feel hopefully better about that. No.
He'll listen. He listens to all of them.
That's what he tells you.
I'm telling you, he questions me about it. He goes, "You should have hammered him so-and-so more on that."
No, I appreciate and I enjoy our time together when we've been to several concerts together, especially the last one we did in England. He's very charismatic, and I like his energy. And I like the dude. I look forward to spending more time with him. We had an interesting first meeting.
Tell me about it.
And I never asked him about this, so we're doing this through you.
This is good. This is good. Do it through Lex.
Our first meeting was, I just got in the role of Superman in Superman Returns, and had never met him before. And we're at Nike used to do this thing, maybe they still do, where you go and if you're, you get a whole bunch of free Nike stuff.
Right.
He was scheduled to come after me down this building down in Marina Del Rey in California. And it's like, oh, well, hang out and say hi. I'd like to meet him. I never met him before. Not even thinking like what he might be thinking. All I knew is that maybe he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to play Superman anymore. I didn't know for sure. Right. But anyway, we went down and he gets out, I think he's a truck, and I'm there with Courtney and the very kind woman from Nike, Tracy, introduces us. And I say, "Hey, how you going? How you doing?" And for me, I was like, he doesn't like me. It was a very short.
Touche.
Very short. Like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, Superman. Cool. Okay. See you later. And that was it.
So really, that was it? No congratulations, no nothing. Just kind of like.
Maybe he did. All I remember was I thought he didn't like me. Because then I realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe he didn't want to say hi to me because he was having, mixed feelings about it.
Right.
No matter what, he's played Clark Kent for his whole life. And
pretty much.
And I'm kind of forcing this meeting, so maybe I'm like the bad. Maybe he doesn't like me. And then finally, I met him again at years later at one of the conventions, like 3 years ago. Maybe it was the first one we did together in Oklahoma.
Right. Could have been Oklahoma.
Or something. Anywhere. And he was nice and cordial and it erased that, that feeling, because he embraced me and didn't seem like he had a problem. And I'll have to look on the fact that he doesn't think that I embraced him, but no.
Maybe there's that young feeling.
I like you, Tom.
Well, you look, Tom, he likes you. Welling, Brandon likes you. Brandon, Tom likes you. That's just the way it is. But maybe there's something to be said about you're both young. You just got the biggest part of your life. He just got the biggest part of his life. Maybe there's an ego. Maybe inadvertently, it just feels like you don't know how to act around each other. We all grow up. Years later, you meet at a convention. It's all like, now we've done it. What's up, dude? Got it. I'm an adult now. You're an adult. Because, people think, what do you think of Jesse Eisenberg? What do you think of so-and-so? I'm like, hey, congratulations to him. I'm thrilled for him that he got, Lex Luthor. And but look, people will also say, do you get jealous? Do you get upset? I'm like, I don't get jealous about someone getting a part. I get upset, more resentful about not being considered or auditioning or given the opportunity to prove myself. Or so that's the only thing I'll say. But never with an actor. I can't get upset for someone they cast as Lex Luthor. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. The biggest thing is consideration for being told that this thing that involves a character you've played in before is happening, that is in your world, that that people may weigh in and ask you about. And if you're surprised by it and you don't know that this big thing is happening, kind of speaking in very broad terms, but it's just communication. It's communication about the roles that we care so much about.
Yeah.
I mean, close to when Small was coming off the air, and if there was all that Lex stuff, whatever Lex stuff might be happening, you being in the know, since you'd been the only person that had been Lex for so long, would be nice to know so that you're not blindsided by it.
I think the industry can be cruel, and they can be more, what's the word? Despondent. I don't know if that's the right word, but just sort of, they neglect the idea of there's a certain respect. And I think everybody who plays a role, we deserve respect, as do they, do the creators. And I think that, it's like, hey, the kid from Smallville, I don't even know his name, Rosenbloomers or whatever. He's been playing Lex for a long time. Let's just have him come in and read as a respectful thing. Just have him come and read. Let's meet with him. That's it. Even if you have no thought of, that's the only thing I would say. If like I was in a higher, creative position, I would say, hey, Brandon Routh was terrific in that. Let's just meet with him. Let's just let him read. Let's just test screen him. Why not? He's proven that he can do it, that he looks great, that he's the part, that he does it. It's just a sort of a respect that you don't see a lot in the industry. Yeah. That's all. There's not like there's a chip on my shoulder. There's not. I love all these actors. I work with Jesse, and he's fantastic. It's just a matter. It's more a creative thing. Just, hey, read him. Meet with him.
I think that in maybe even comes down to some courage, on the behalf of the makers of whatever the project is, because you might say you come in, they might be worried that you're going to be upset with them and you're going to yell at them and whatever. You're going to have your own reaction, and they can't deal with it, so they just let's not even deal with that. I don't want to look at that thing. Just don't even consider it.
Right.
Because I don't want to deal with the actor's wrath,
Because we all have that. We're all such angry,
silly,
mean people.
Like egotistical actors who don't know anything.
Yeah. You came back, Crisis on Infinite Earth, to play Superman. I know that was a big deal for you. That was a big deal. Did you get, I don't know, I mean, was there ever a time where you got a little emotional putting that suit back on?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I thank goodness also because, the first time was so much pressure, and that I was trying not to look at, and also couldn't even conceive of. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to and I'm going to appreciate the next one, or I'm going to, relax into the next one. I just have to kind of get through this but enjoy it. But I didn't have the awareness that I have now. And it was just great. A lot of gratitude for having the opportunity to do this again, for all the parties that made it possible. And I've told this story before, but the first day that I came on the set, I was shooting the Batwoman episode, and it's the first time I was appearing as Superman in it. And I thought I've already done it. Like even if this was the only scene I'm doing, the emotional wound or scar that was left from my experience of Superman Returns was mostly healed, because all the lead up to that, the costume fitting, the wonderful warm fan reaction, people were excited and appreciated having me return to the character, was validating and healing in so many ways, that being there that first day was the most magical of times, and I was able to kind of relax and appreciate the rest of the experience from that moment. Because I didn't have to prove any. I had nothing. There was nothing more to prove. Just being there, the fact that I'd done that, read the journey, not had the character for so long, and still was thought of, I guess, highly enough to reprise, even for that little bit, was a validation I didn't know that I needed. I guess, it was very healing.
Did you think that? So there was no thought of like, how am I going to play this guy? Because you already played it, right? You already knew what you were doing. They didn't ask you to, well, in this world, we want you to play it a little differently, or we want you to be, I mean, was there any sort of, or just, hey, you were this guy, just play this guy again?
No, there was definitely some considerations to be made. It is the same character, but he's gone through a lot since Superman Returns, having lost Lois Lane, and a lot of his other friends killed by the Joker, as you were kind of mixing Kingdom Come storyline with the Superman Returns backstory in this. So it's a different, older, more mature Superman and Clark Kal-El. Then you had to play the angry, possessed Superman, which is not something I'd ever done before. So I had to tap into that and ground that. So there was definitely some challenges to be had and tweaks to the character. But I'd been thinking for a long time, as I'd become a parent and matured and started to learn more things about myself. And I was eager to bring that wisdom to the character, which, I think is there. Not even when he's speaking, but it's kind of in the not moving moments. It's kind of in the quiet moments where I think some of that stuff plays.
What about the moments where you're fighting Tyler Hoechlin? Because those are pretty badass. And I'm watching some behind the scenes on some clips. And what was that like? Was that fun? Did you guys have a lot of fun doing that?
Fun. Yes, there was fun. A lot of fun. It's hard because it's also, we only had one day or very few days to do it. You got to hit your mark. We're moving at a rapid pace. Don't want to hurt the other person. And the intense focus that you have to have for some of that stuff eliminates like the super fun, like it's all that the whole thing is fun.
Right. We got to work.
It's a mix. It's a mix of all that. I had fun. I had more fun with the flying stuff. So we shot it in separate parts. There's the crashes through the window and the strangling stuff. Right. And then separately we did the wire work, and that was pretty cool. And that was all one day too. We did so much work in one day. I was astounded by how much all that technology has advanced. But that was cool. I mean, that was pretty cool to be flying together ish and like fighting each other in the air. That was fun and cool.
What about when you first put on the suit again? The very first day you put on the suit. I guess it's a fitting, and you walk into your trailer or something. You look in the mirror. I mean, what was that feeling? Well,
there's several variations of the fitting. So you go and you put on just the blue, and then they have the blue with the symbol that's not finished, and there's pins here still. So all of that was very cool. But to be finally kind of in it and parade around, I took many videos of it and what it looked like when I'm running, and if I, do a jump in slow mo. It was very healing. And proud moment and just surreal.
Why healing? You say healing.
Again, it's the same thing. When I took on the role of Superman, that's not something you take on lightly. And I signed a 3-picture deal. And as a 24-year-old actor, you're like, oh, I'm going to do 3 movies. This is going to be successful. Of course, right. I'm going to be doing 3. I'm going to be Superman for a while now. People are always going to know me as Superman. Had an amazing time making the first movie. And then it comes out and, we, as everyone knows, we did not do a sequel. So, anyways, we talked, in our prior interview, it was devastating.
Yeah.
So all those dreams, all that future that I saw of myself as Superman in multiple movies, and then all that would come from that, the symbol and the role model that I would be as Superman and all that stuff that I built up into my head as a naive 24-year-old came crashing down over all those years.
Yeah, right.
And so to be in the suit again, to be thought of to be back in the suit again.
The fans wanted you back. The fans wanted you back,
And to know that was, you go to conventions and people would always tell me how much the character meant to them. I love hearing that so much. But to have that fully realized, that energy matched with actually being in the suit and going to film the thing was, again, like I said, on the first day of filming, incredibly healing. But being in the suit again was a full circle moment, which I don't know how many of those you get in life.
True, not many.
I was just really present for that, and in great appreciation for. A great appreciation.
You just look great.
It means so much to me.
You look great in the suit too, weren't you?
Thanks.
I mean, it really popped. You just was like, yes, this is Superman. It felt right. Did it take a lot of fittings? Were there anything that you were a little bit like, you know what, I don't like this part about the costume, or was the whole costume exactly what you wanted? You had no questions, no thoughts about any of it?
I loved the Superman Returns suit until I got into this suit. And then I was like, wow, this is, I have great appreciation for the Superman Returns suit and everyone who worked so hard and thousands of hours to make that suit. But this suit is, I love this. I love from the design, it's mostly based on Alex Ross's art. And wonderful art. There's not much that's different from what his all of his stuff. But it just felt powerful and simple. The cape was lighter, and it was this new material, so it floated and glided, and I have like this weight pulling me back. I love the shorts. The cut of that was great, because I don't like Superman without underpants. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hey,
gotta have the strange underpants. To me. The S was bigger, which was a lot of people's problem with Superman Returns. I thought it filled out the chest great, and the muscle suit the guys made. Every superhero has a muscle suit underneath there, whether they say it or not. Everyone does, and this one just it was shaped just great. I had a different shape after 15 years of weight training. Since then, my body was different and more of a Superman shape also in a way. So they amplified and helped me where I needed it. I loved it.
I think people assume that, they've got the bodysuit, they don't have to be in great shape. That's not true, is it?
You gotta fill it out. You have to fill it out still, because it's still padding, and most of the muscles. Some of the places where people need help there's more pad, but some places it's like this, and it's like this so that they can make a groove, so you can see the bicep definition when they're just standing still.
Right.
Because an actor can't sit there and be flexed the whole time. You'd never be able to hear anything they're saying because they're doing this the whole time. They're sweating and they would get tired. And there's only so many push-ups you can do in a day to pump up.
Right.
You're doing a shirtless scene. You get on the floor and you do push-ups and you do some bicep curls and you do your shirtless scene. But you're in a suit all day. You can't do that. So it's imperative that you have that underneath that bodysuit, muscle suit, whatever you want to call it, to help you look like a superhero all the time, even when you're standing still.
Right.
So that's why everyone has them. Jason Momoa is huge. Zach is huge. Henry Cavill was huge. I was huge for your own body type. But in order to, it's a movie, it's not reality. You have to make those accommodations.
Inside of You is brought to you by my good friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp Online Therapy. Boy, I can't tell you how much this works. I get emails all the time. Thank you for talking about BetterHelp. Thank you for getting me into therapy. Ryan does BetterHelp.
I do.
I just had a friend this morning. I was FaceTiming with him, and his wife said, my kid's dealing with depression. And do you know any good therapists? I go, well, BetterHelp Online Therapy. because they're in the middle of sort of nowhere and you don't need to go anywhere. You can FaceTime or text or, it's BetterHelp is just, it's amazing. It's helped you out.
Yeah, it's convenient. And,
it's convenient.
Yeah, it has been good. I have gotten a lot out of it.
Well, I like that. Look, whether you're struggling with grief, relationships, or stress, or having trouble sleeping or meeting goals, online therapy might be for you. BetterHelp is secure online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with a licensed professional therapists. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own accredited therapist. You can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. And you don't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. Therapists have a broad range of expertise which may not be available in your area. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime, folks. Send a message to your therapist. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change therapists if you need. And that may happen. You meet someone the first time, you may not vibe with them, you change a therapist. BetterHelp, it's that easy, and I completely recommend this. So many people have told me it works. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy by a landslide, if you ask me, and financial aid is available. Visit betterhelp.com/inside. and join over the 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp, Ryan, that they are recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states. Inside of You is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month of online therapy at betterhelp.com/inside. That's betterhelp.com/inside. Give it a shot. BetterHelp. Inside of You is brought to you by Sonos, my good friends at Sonos. How much do I love these guys at Sonos?
You love this.
This is by far, if you're going to get a good holiday gift, this is a great holiday gift. Sonos devices are all around my house. I've had them for years. I've said this before, but before I even had them as sponsors, which they're just recently sponsors, I've always loved Sonos. I talk about it with everybody, and people everywhere have Sonos. Mm-hmm. And I'm not the only one that loves this product. They just make great products. And, instead of having receivers and speakers everywhere in your house, you could just have this little device that has beautiful sound. And that's really what Sonos is about, if you ask me. It's like, saving space. It's not the old days where you need to have 5 receivers and a turntable and this, all that, it's like, come on, man. Sonos is wonderful. Make the sound system on your wish list a reality. Share the joy of listening on Sonos this season with speakers and sound bars that are easy to set up, easy to use, and all work together so you can listen in any or every room like I do. And bring the family together with incredible sound for everything from classic carols to festive films.
Sonos works with all your streaming services, and control is simple with the Sonos app, your voice using Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant, and Apple AirPlay 2.
Spoil the listeners in your life, folks, with a gift that truly keeps on giving. Treat gamers and movie lovers to an immersive home theater experience with Beam. Keep your fitness-loving friends motivated with great sound for their workout playlist with Move. And help relatives relax with hand-free control of their music and more on Sonos One. You won't be sorry. I'm going to get ready to be bombarded with emails because you're going to tell me how much you love Sonos. That is just a fact. I love them. I know you'll love them. It's a great holiday gift. Go to Sonos.com. That's Sonos.com to learn more and wrap up your holiday shopping. How was it? I know you're coming back, right, for an episode of The Flash? Mm-hmm. Superman is, right? You're Superman?
No, Adam.
Oh, that's Ray Palmer?
Yes.
So he's coming back in a Flash episode coming out relatively soon.
The November 19th, I think it's the beginning of, they're doing like a mini crossover, the first 5 episodes of Flash. And so Ray and the Atom are in the first episode. Right.
And you did the 100th episode, right?
100th episode of Legends. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And now how was that like finding out like they're like, hey, we're not going to have your character return in Legends? Was that, I mean, did they do you right? Did they approach you right? Did they tell you that this is going to end in the way you wanted to hear it? Is there a way you want to hear it?
You mean when we were done on season 5?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that. I don't think I talked at length about that in our last.
Oh yes, you did. You did, by the way.
I won't go back into that. and that's been, the last 2 years and pandemic and all that, everything happening in the world. There's been a lot of time to reflect and process that whole experience. And ultimately, it's been a journey for me of learning and appreciating and cultivating my own self-worth.
Yeah, well, they keep bringing you back, so it's not like they didn't like you.
and people make decisions.
Right.
Sometimes people make good decisions, and sometimes people make bad decisions.
Right.
Bad decisions happen all the time.
All the time. And sometimes they affect us negatively, and we can choose to be upset with that for the rest of our lives, or we can work to come to terms with it, I guess, right.
And to find, as they say, make lemonade out of lemons. And that's what I've been working on doing, and I think I can speak for Courtney and saying the same thing. And knowing, meanwhile, by fan reaction and all the love we've gotten over the last couple of years, that even though one person made this decision that was a bad decision, nobody supports that.
Right.
Nobody has supported that decision, and so that's one of the reasons why we said yes to come back, because we knew that it would be, that fans would appreciate it, and also we made sure that in coming back that we were standing on our own worth and made our own requests to make sure that we felt like we were being respected.
Yes. And
that happened this time around. So we were happy to be a part of it, and also get an opportunity to work again with Wentworth and Victor and Falk, some people who in France also who didn't have as much opportunity to be in the season 4 energy of Legends, kind of more goofy, open. So it was fun to kind of play with them in that new sandbox that the show had become, where it wasn't that way as much when they started out.
It comes back to respect. Like you said, that you felt like when you went back, you respected. I think that, a lot of people don't know, but I'm sure they do when they asked me to do Crisis on Infinite Earth. It was more like, we don't have a script. This is all you're getting, and that's it. And you're going to either say yes or no. And I was like, well, how could I say yes to that? There's like absolutely zero respect. There's no script. There's no money. There's no nothing. So I had no choice to come back. But it sounds to me like they were like, hey, we're treating Brandon with respect. We're treating him right. And we're going to take care of him. We
made sure that we ensured that was happening.
Good. I like that. I'm glad you took care of that. Yeah. What is the truth of a Ray Palmer Adam spinoff series? I know there was some early talks with Berlanti about that, but it never kind of materialized.
Obviously, I'm always open to that. No one has spoken to me about it, except for me internally going, it'd be a good show. But I love Ray Palmer and would love to continue playing Ray Palmer.
What's the maybe it's just hearsay, but is it the role of Superman they were talking about, maybe an HBO series potentially, or any further talks about that or anything like that? Did you hear about that?
I've heard very kind people on Twitter and people tweeting me.
Okay, so it's the same sort of people. It's not anybody of like,
Yeah, I am interested in that type of a situation. So I have floated questions and but there's a lot going on with Superman right now. There are several projects already far along at HBO and at Warner Brothers. So, and with Tyler, kicking ass on Superman and Lois, there's a lot of Superman going to be happening right now.
So many Supermans.
Maybe in a few years it's a possibility. I never say no to anything these days because of what happened.
Can't.
So, I have positive thoughts that there may be a reprisal again someday of my Superman. I mean, to what extent, I don't know.
Right. The Rookie with Nathan Fillion. How much do you enjoy doing that?
that was interesting. I love Nathan. Has been a friend for a while, and he called up and said during the middle of the pandemic, said, "Hey, would you like a job?" I said, "Yes." That's not what he said, but that's what I received. And he said, "Oh, it's this, I'd love to have you come on. There's this, nice arc on our show. We want to play against type."
Ooh.
It's this cop who we kind of think is an okay guy, but then he's a pretty racist police officer, and we realize, this, through the course of his arc. I said, "Well, let me think about that." And I thought, this is of the moment. It's something topic that needs to be talked about and discussed, and that's what I want to. When I'm sometimes you play characters that are just fun. And it's just to give people an escape from the day. And sometimes you play stuff that is important for moving the social agenda forward. And sometimes you're the bad guy part of that.
Right.
So I took it as a great opportunity for that, to learn, to grow as an actor, and to see how I could do to play that role. So
yeah, it's hard jumping in too. It's hard jumping into something that's already like a success, right?
Yeah, they were in their third season and doing great. And then it was peak pandemic, like face shields, masks, testing 3 times a week. Really hard to meet anybody and to create that camaraderie on set, which I so much appreciate.
Right.
That's one of my favorite things about being on set, is creating that film family, TV family. So it took longer to kind of initiate that, or to grow that, but they were great cast and crew, and had a lot of fun working with all of them.
What's Magic the card game? Because my engineer Ryan kind of geeked out a little bit. He's like, "Oh yeah, of course." He kind of geeked out. Ryan.
Magic the Gathering. Yeah, I did it.
Magic the Gathering. What did I say?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Magic the card game.
Magic the card game.
Why did I say that?
I don't know.
Magic the Gathering.
Because you don't play Magic the Gathering.
Yes, Magic the Gathering. Tell me about Magic the Gathering.
Well, it's a card game that's been around for more than 20 years, 25, 30 years. I started playing when I was 16. I think I remember buying my first pack at the Iowa State Fair. I was on a break from making corn dogs at the corn dog stand that I worked at for the 10 days in the summer.
Right.
And I bought a couple packs and then like a deck, pre-made deck. And I was just fascinated by the whole thing for years. But there were never enough people around me to play. But I always enjoyed it. And then I cousin, and so I have thousands of cards, collection. And anyway, so they asked to do a voice for the new animated series coming on Netflix next year. So it's a cool thing. Excited to be a part of. It's cool when you get to be excited about you get to be a part of something that you're already excited about. And
your child will probably be excited about Leo.
I think he's not into magic yet, but he's only 9. So, maybe
there's
someday.
time. There's time.
Yeah.
How is it working with your wife? I mean, how much do you like working with your wife, especially like in the crossover and doing all these things? What was that like?
I love it. We have, we've done, I can't even lose track of how many projects we've done together, 4 or 5. We have a relaxed energy because we know we can trust each other. So that allows us, especially in comedy, to play, to create new moments. A lot of the magic that's in Legends of Tomorrow in our episodes is stuff that we're either talking about at home before we get there, or we say, what if we did this? Or it's just happening on the moment. And I know that she's so skilled and talented that she's going to roll with it if I do something. Right. Little stuff where we're walking down the hallway, sneaking onto the ship, and she doesn't know where she's going. So she goes one way and I go the other. We bump into each other, and it was like an awkward, silly physical comedy moment.
Yeah. Just
small things, but they just add to it. And so that makes it really fun to be able to come to work, to know that I can rely on my scene partner, and I don't have to do as much work.
Yeah. And the fact that you get along with her. It's good that you get along.
Yes.
Do you think Leo will ever want to act? Has he ever thought about it? Has he ever talked to you about, like, Dad, I want to play a character?
Yeah. I mean, we got puppets. He's made various movies of different genres, storyboards. I've written stories that he's dictating, and I'm writing it down. We did this thing for Quibi before it went away with Jason Reitman, who had us do, the Princess Bride homemade Princess Bride thing that we did. And he asked Courtney and I to be a part of it. And then we enlisted Leo to be an ROUS, rat of unusual size, crawling through the fire swamp. So that's his first role. He's credited with on IMDb, no lines, but I think growling. And then I did this, it just is up here. One of the things I'm doing up here is this Hallmark movie, a sequel to this Christmas Hallmark movie I did in 2014. And this big Christmas scene, Santa photo op thing. And we have practiced with Leo a little bit, like stand on the line and stand on the tape, here's your mark, and say your line. Because he's talked about wanting to be an actor. And so you have to go to class. You have to learn how to do this stuff. And you have to listen to the director. Anyway, so we've kind of been preparing him if he wants to continue, look into it more. But we got he's an extra anyway in the movie. I got him a little thing in the movie, so which I think will stay in the cut.
I love those.
And he was so excited. He was more excited than we knew he was going to be. He was so excited about it. He did an awesome job, and it was just so cool. Even though I don't have dialogue with him, but I see him in the scene. I'm not in the scene with him, and it's like, that's my son over there. It was such a trippy, surreal, cool thing. So yeah, who knows if he'll do more, but he's going to be in film and television. It seems like in the arts capacity, whatever it manifests into as he grows. I don't know.
I have to ask you, I didn't ask you about this, but the Christina Aguilera video. I mean, just for shits and giggles. I mean, how was she to be on set with? And it was just, how old were you?
When I first came out here, I was 21.
So it had to be kind of exciting. 20? She's a big singer at that point.
Yeah. I didn't even know. I didn't know who she was. I just heard the song on the radio. And then it was like modeling. I got through my modeling agency at the time, modeling casting call. And, I wasn't the lead guy. I wasn't the lead guy like her boyfriend. I was just one of the badly dancing guys on the sideline.
Right.
But that was the first. I wasn't the first. I'd done one episode of TV before that, but this was kind of a cool, like hip thing. And she was fine. She was very new to it too. So she was kind of quiet and sticking to herself. I think it's a lot for her. I think it was only the first or second music video that she'd done.
Right.
And I didn't really ever chat to her because.
But it was fun. You liked doing a music video. I was
one of like 30 other guys, but it was fun and cool. And I thought it was a pretty neat thing to be a part of, and a funny thing, certain to look back and say, "Oh, there's my arm. Oh, there's my face." But there I'm dancing.
Do you think? Would you love to just somebody to say, Brandon, I want you to gain like 20 pounds and just be a fat schlub in a movie. I don't want you to be the good-looking, ripped-up Brandon. I don't want you to be the cop Brandon or the Superman Brandon or the Ray Palmer. I want you to be schlubby Brandon. You're looking at me like you don't really like that.
It's just not healthy. It's just not. There's not a really healthy way to do that. Well, and I know too much about
health
in the body and damage to the body that, the pandemic was bad enough. I've been my schlubbiest during the pandemic. Leo had to do his 8th, annual visit with a doctor on Zoom, and we needed to weigh him, and we didn't have a scale. We didn't have it. We don't believe in like the need for scales. It's fine to have one, but anyway, we just didn't have one. So we bought one on Amazon, and we get it, and I'm trying it, and I step on it. I'm like, I don't think this is right. This is recalibrated. This is like 15 pounds off. Courtney gets on the scale. She's like, yeah, it's like at least like 10 pounds off. I go, yeah. I probably have to broken or something in the shipping. So I go in to get a 25-pound weight and I put it on there. 25 pounds. Scale's not broken. I have gained 15 pounds.
Right.
And that's being kind. Because I wasn't sure where I started out. But I was in like some of the best shape of my life coming off of returning as Superman.
Right.
And then fast forward in a year later. And I was like, then every time I looked in the mirror, I was like, oh yeah, no, that's weight.
You swelled up. You swelled up.
Put on some weight. It just took a while.
Right.
And I didn't really like it.
You didn't like it.
So I've been more active lately and shedding some of that and getting back into a better fighting weight.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah, I would maybe.
It depends on the director. It depends on the project.
Look, if it's an amazing thing and I have to, I make it work or get the large suit.
The larger suit, yes.
To do that kind of stuff.
This is called Shit Talking with Brandon Routh. This wraps us up. These are rapid fire. You might feel like you're a little redundant in answering these questions, but so be it. Misha H., did you like playing 2 roles on a crossover?
I did. It was a very awesome experience.
Was it difficult?
It was difficult just in that I had to make sure that there was a difference between Ray and Clark.
Right.
And between the Atom and Superman, which I knew there was, but I had never had to like analyze it because I had to show my picture double the mannerisms and the physicality if we were both in the same scene so that he could play me while I was playing me.
Right. Nico P., what was the feedback like after your last appearance on the Inside of You podcast? Did you get a lot of good feedback on that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, absolutely. People very thankful for some of the things that I opened up about and discussed. And yeah.
Good.
It was nice to hear that was, that sharing that kind of stuff was helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved having you. I love having you again. Scott J., did you find it refreshing to play a darker and morally ambiguous character in The Rookie after playing so many good upbeat characters in the past? I mean, you sort of answered that, but ultimately.
Yeah, I don't know if it was, I think of it refreshing. I feel like I leveled up a little bit. There's things I could have done differently with that role too, relaxing into it and just like fully embracing him more. But ultimately I feel good in that I learned some valuable things as an actor and as a person.
Tom N., what's Brandon's favorite item to sign at a convention for the fans?
Oh, favorite item to sign at a convention. I don't know. I like signing. People bring in like the S shield.
Oh yeah.
Those are kind of cool. Or like when it's a big statue, sometimes they bring in just the plate, the base of the statue.
Yep.
Those are kind of cool and challenging to sign.
Do you have dolls or figures at your house that you like when Superman came out, or even from Flash, or just like the crossovers and Legends? Do you have action figures?
Yeah, I mean, we have the action figures. They're not on display or anything. We haven't quite gotten to the point where we don't have a space in our house to really do that adequately. I don't have like a trophy room. Maybe someday in a house we will do something like that. But I have them around, and usually what's happened is Leo's playing with them, and they lose an arm. Especially the Atom stuff. And Courtney has stuff of her too from Fallout 3. She had a voice for, and she has pop Nora stuff too. But anyway,
that's awesome. Bob K., last question: favorite classic film you would remake and star in?
Ooh. I mean,
it could even be a favorite movie of yours.
Yeah, Braveheart is my favorite movie.
Nice. What a good one.
I don't know that I could do that role justice. But also, let's see what else, like Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I could love to be.
You'd love to remake that and be a part in that?
One scene in that. I don't know who I would be, but work on my British accent.
I'd be the knight. When he can't cross and he cuts your freaking arms off. I'll kick you to death.
Black Knight.
Yeah. The Black Knight. I played the Black Knight. That would be fun. Why not? Dude, this has been a blast. I love talking to you. You're so open, forthcoming, and like you said, like people said, I think people really enjoy hearing your stories and hearing the truth, hearing, just like, how you're feeling and how you're doing. And ultimately, I think, it just sounds like you got your shit together and you're working and you're enjoying life and you're enjoying the kid and your family.
Yeah. Working on it all the time. I still slip up more than I want as far as, being the best communicator and always, working to be a better teammate, better dad, a better castmate. I think one thing I'm learning about is boundaries, creating better boundaries and expectations for myself and what other people have expectations for me, and coming on here and being a part of this and not trying to evangelize, but just, speak my truth.
Straight shooter, my man. Straight shooter. Always appreciate you. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast again. I appreciate you allowing me to be inside of you again. This has been fantastic. I can't wait to actually hang with you when, you're in Vancouver right now, right?
Yes.
And you're filming?
I finished filming for now, and possible things brewing of being somewhere else, but might just stay up here. It feels nice and safe and sane. Up
and
here
a little sane in the old
Vancouver.
Couve.
Yeah.
All right. All my love to you, man. And I hope to see you soon.
Thanks.
All right, buddy.
Good to see you.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see
having
you. Of course. Ryan, you can just tell that Brandon's a genuinely good guy.
Oh yeah.
You could just tell he's a good dad. He's a good husband. He tries.
Mm-hmm.
He tries hard. He listens. He's matured. When I listen to guys like him or guests like him, you want to be a better person. I feel like, God, this guy's a good guy. And I always wish him the best. And he's got such a great attitude. And he just talks about, the reality of it all, how you do get down, you do get depressed, you do get anxious, you're not happy with the way things are going sometimes. And that's life, man. That's freaking life.
How cool is it? We had 2 back-to-back Supermen.
Back-to-back Superman. And the week before, you had a Supergirl.
Uh-huh.
You had someone from Supergirl. So we're ending the season with Supergirl and
super duper way to end the year.
Super duper way to end the year. So thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Tom Welling. Thank you, Ozzy Tesfaye. And encourage you to donate this year if you haven't. Echoesofhope.org for foster youth. Foodonfoot.org for the homeless situation in Los Angeles. The homeless situation, not the homelessness situation. Yeah, homelessness. Homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Foodonfoot.org and the Ronald McDonald House is always a beautiful thing to donate to. Thank you for all my lovely patrons for the year who've supported the podcast. I've talked about you all the time because without you, I couldn't do it. And so thank you. If you want to join Patreon, the wonderful family, to give back to the show a little more, if you feel like you can, that's great. If not, thank you for just listening. Patreon.com/inside of you. Also, the Inside of You online store has got some great stuff for the holidays and Smallville stuff and autographs and just plenty of stuff out there. And also sunspin.com if you want to have a Zoom with me and also get some cool swag for the band Sunspin, because you see Stephen Amell and Tom Welling always wear the Sunspin hats, the Sunspin shirts. I like it. That's cool. That's nice of them to do that. Anything else, Ryan?
No, man.
You don't got anything? Anything you want to say for the end of the year before we wrap this up?
Man, I hope the next one is better. I hope we just keep getting better.
I think that's important what you just said. We need to keep getting better.
We as a society.
We just need to be good to each other. It's not that hard. Hey, open a door for someone. An act of kindness.
It costs nothing to be kind.
It costs nothing to be kind. It's harder to be an asshole.
Yeah, it is.
Ask me, I'll tell you. I've been an asshole before, I'm sure. Let's get into the top tiers. These are people who give back more than they have to, for sure. These are the top tier patrons. Again, if you want to join Patreon, patreon.com/inside of you. Let's see how many you remember, Ryan.
Let's do it.
Nancy,
D,
Leah,
S,
Sarah,
V,
Little,
Lisa,
U,
Kiko,
Jill,
E,
Brian,
H,
Nico,
P,
Jerry,
W,
Robert,
B,
Jason,
W,
Kristen,
K,
Amelia,
O,
Allison,
L,
Raj,
C,
Joshua,
D,
Emily.
S.
S, correct. CJ.
P.
Samantha.
M.
Jennifer.
L. N.
N, correct. Stacy.
L.
Correct. Jen.
If her Hudson.
You get 5 wrongs and you're done. So Jen what?
I don't know. Jen B.
Jen S. Jamal.
F.
Correct. Janelle.
B.
Correct. Kimberly.
E.
Mike.
E.
Eldon.
Supremo.
99.
More.
Ramira. Oh, sorry. I said
That's just Ramira.
Santiago.
M.
Chad.
D.
W. That's your first one you've missed.
Shit.
Or second.
No.
Leanne.
There might have been a couple F's that I disguised as S's and vice versa.
Maybe.
Leanne. P.
Correct. Janine.
R.
Maya.
P.
Maddie.
S.
Belinda.
N.
Chris.
H.
Dave.
H.
Spider-Man.
Chase.
Sheila.
G.
Brad.
D.
Ray.
H.
Tabitha.
T.
Mr.
Oh, shit. Mr. Michael?
Mr. M. I'll give
Mr.
you that
M?
one.
All right.
Liliana.
M. N. A.
A. Correct. Michelle.
K.
Correct. Michael. Go with whatever you think.
D.
No.
All
S. That's your second wrong.
Great.
Talia.
N.
M.
M.
I'll give you that one. You're so close. Betsy.
D.
Correct. Laura.
A.
No. L.
L.
And Chad.
L.
Correct. Rochelle. Nathan.
B.
E.
Damn.
All right. You got 2 more X's. Marion. Sorry. Marion. Hi. Meg.
K.
Janelle.
B. P.
Correct. Trav.
L.
Dan.
S.
N. All right. You got 1 more miss and we're done, but you've gotten through quite a few. Big Stevie.
W.
Angel.
M.
That's correct. Rhiannon.
C.
Corey.
D.
K.
Shit.
Super.
Sam.
Coleman.
G.
Dev.
Nexon.
Michelle.
K. No, I already did that one. I don't know.
Guess.
F.
A. All right. Now that's it. So I'll read the rest, but you missed 5, but you got through quite a big chunk. Yeah. Liz I, Jeremy C, Andy T, Cody R, Sebastian K, Gavinator, David C, John B, Brandy D, Yavor, Camille S, the C, Joey M, Willie F, Christina E, Adelaide N, Omar I, Lena N, Eugene and Leah, Chris P, Nikki G, Corey, Patricia, Heather L, and Jake B. You did really well, dude.
It's starting to slip a little bit,
but it's not easy. It's no. You're trying to put a name in there's. It's just I couldn't do it. I couldn't do these names. I couldn't do it.
There's a couple missing, which is a bummer. But there's a couple new ones which are fun.
Yeah, who's missing?
Tabitha 272.
Not to be confused.
Tabitha 273.
That's correct. Yeah, she went away, but we love her.
Yeah,
all the support and love.
That's all right.
Anybody who is a top tier, whether you're a top tier for a month or top tier for a year. The support is overwhelming. So thank you. Thank you for listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. You just
Shatner your own theme song?
I just Shatnered it. I shattered all over it. I love you, Ryan. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Jason, the editor. You rock, buddy. Happy New Year, Bryce. Happy New Year, Cumulus. Continue to listen, man. Next year is going to be a great year. Remember, January 4th, we have off, but we're back and we're going to come in strong. And I've got some great news coming your way for the new year that you're going to love. So stay tuned. Thank you for allowing me to be inside of each and every one of you. From Michael Rosenbaum here in the Hollywood Hills of California.
Ryan Tay is also here in the Hollywood Hills, California.
Give a wave to the camera, Ryan.
Bye.
We love you guys. Be good to yourselves. Happy New Year.